Hi. Today we are here. We are honored to have the presence of Pavel Elin. Hi, Pavel. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good as well. For those of you who do not know Pavel, Pavel is a translator, a professional who has been in the industry for almost 20 years. He has worked as a translator, as a head of translation departments, as a consultant, and now he runs his own company, his own translation company. And probably you know him because of the good advice he gives to freelancers on LinkedIn, and mainly on marketing, on how to market yourself in the translation industry. And he has also published a book about that he can comment in a moment. But Pavel, how do you define yourself? How would you introduce yourself if someone asks you, okay, but who is Pavel Elin? What would you say?
My path in our industry started in 2007. I started as a freelance translator. In 2010, I launched my first business in our field. In 2011, I moved to Portugal. And became CEO at Freelanguage LDA. Still, throughout my career, I always keep my freelance translator experience. And it happened so that in 2019, I attended a workshop arranged by one person who specialized in LinkedIn and social marketing. So it was a start for me to launch my LinkedIn blog and to use my experience both as a freelance translator and as a manager of various translation companies to provide our colleagues, provide freelance translators and interpreters with advice, with some tips and recommendations, with some content that I consider helpful for developing their career. So yes, today I can say that I am a consultant, a coach, and for me it's something that I do because I like it. I really like to be helpful to other people. I am really glad when I know that my advice helps someone to avoid some troubles or to reach better results in their work. So basically, it's a sort of introduction that I can provide about myself.
Yeah, that's great. And I can assure you that, I mean, I read your posts and they are always useful. You don't only share posts, but you share also spreadsheets on how to do things. So that's super useful for anyone in the industry. These days, everybody's talking about this situation, the war in Ukraine. You're a Russian citizen, but a citizen of the world as well. As you were saying, you like to help everybody. You have already expressed your opinion, and you are against any type of wars, any type of violence, of course. Some countries have started passing sanctions on Russia, and you as Russian, have you had any impact on your business as a translator, or it hasn't affected you?
As for me, and I am sure you understand me very well, this situation is very difficult. First of all, because I am not against wars, I am against unmotivated aggression of Vladimir Putin in the Ukraine. But also as a Russian, you know the feeling that you read this news and you understand that it's all about your country. And when I left Russia in 2011, political reasons were among the reasons why I decided to move to another country, because I saw that Russia was not on a good way. So first of all, it's really hard for me mentally to realize that my home country kills people in Ukraine, and It is a tragedy for me too personally, because I have friends, colleagues in Ukraine and from Ukraine, and our nations are interconnected. Speaking in terms of businesses, I think the only difference is that today we stopped working with Russian translators residing in Russia. We stopped working with Russian companies. On one hand, we try our best to support our Ukrainian colleagues. So we, as there are many talented translators who provide translations into Ukrainian, Russian, and some other Eastern European languages. We mainly focus on our work with them. And secondly, because of the sanctions and the restrictions imposed on Russia, we do not want to be in such situation when we are not able to pay for some services. So as for now, I can say that our collaboration with the Russian vendors of language services is stopped. Speaking of customers, we do not have many clients in Russia due to price differences in prices. So we do not observe any changes here. So mainly only in our vendor relations.
Okay, that's interesting, and yeah, and it's nice to know that you are supporting your colleagues in Ukraine and Ukrainian translators.
At least it is the least, at least something we can do here today, but because of course we would like to do more, but the share of Russian projects and Ukrainian projects in the total volume of free language projects is not very big, because we mainly focus on Western European languages and Eastern European languages. The demand for Eastern European languages is almost always is lower than for Western languages.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no, I understand. And yeah, but let's see. I mean, at least trying to help, it's already something. And yeah, and keeping the professional relationship with them and keeping things going on for them, I think it's super important, even if probably they must be thinking on other things and not just working. But yeah, at least what they would like to have, I'm sure they will love having, is having their job when this thing is over. So I mean,
it is really impressive, but the majority of Ukrainian freelance linguists keep working. There may be some delays in deliveries due to the situation. It's totally understandable. And when I spoke to some of my Ukrainian colleagues and our partners in Ukraine, almost every company, almost every professional asked to not to stop work, not to wait for some better days, because obviously they need to keep going. They have their expenses, and in many situations, many Ukrainian companies and many freelancers in Ukraine try to support their people with money, and they desperately need such support in the form of work and projects.
Absolutely, yeah, I understand. Let's go back to the topic of marketing. As a humanist, Pavel, you commit part of your busy life to giving advice to translators about marketing, let's say about how to sell themselves. But why is that, or why do you think is that important for translators?
First of all, I hate this phrase, to sell oneself, because it's not about slavery, it's about providing services. I think it is important for marketing is important for every freelance linguist, for every translator and interpreter, because today it's not enough to have high language skills. Our market is highly competitive, and we should always invest our money to promote our services, to let more customers know about our services, our languages, solutions that we can offer. And it's not something optional. Marketing became obligatory thing for freelancers a long time ago, and it is not something additional. It's an integral part of freelancers' work in the market of translations and language services.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And I mean, I am 44 now, and in my time there was no social media or anything like that, and things have changed a lot. And now, if you want to be seen, if you want to differentiate from the others, you need to have those skills as part of your as part of the other skills that you apart from the language skills that you must have as a translator.
You know, Alfonso, in my advisory, I always learn a lot, and even and you are absolutely right that today all of us need to invest time and invest forces into our personal marketing. It can be social marketing, or it can be other types of marketing, but we all must do it. We all must promote ourselves. We all need to work on our personal brands.
Absolutely, that's a very good advice to start with. In your experience, what would you say are the most common errors made by freelancers who just start, for example, and who are desperate to trying to find a job?
From my point of view, the worst error made by many language professionals is around self-positioning. I advise all independent language professionals to understand one crucial thing. Freelancers are not employees. Customers are not employers. And it's wrong, it's a mistake to try to establish such type of relations that exist with the frameworks of permanent employment. As we have just spoken with you, today things are different. And to be a freelancer means to be an entrepreneur. It's a small business consisting of one person. Still, it has all characteristics of any other businesses. And those freelancers who understand and accept this position, this point of view, usually they succeed in their work. Those language professionals who still think about their business and their customer relations in terms of permanent employment may face some troubles and difficulties.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's the relationship between freelancers and the agencies, employers. It's it's quite complicated. But yeah, what do you think will be the three most important pieces of advice you will give to a translator who's looking for a job?
The first one is, do not look for jobs. Stop doing it. Stop looking for translation projects. Start offering services. Your dentist is not in search for teeth. Your dentist offers professional services and solutions for clients. The second point, do not try to attract new clients' attention with low rates and discounts. It's wrong because even if you find such clients for whom it is important, who are in search for vendors with lower rates, you are not able to establish healthy business relations with such customers. They will always continue searching for new vendors with whose rates are even lower. And the third portion, the third part of my advice is to focus on such things that are interesting for you. To choose such subject fields, to choose such specializations that are truly interesting. Because when we do something that is not interesting for us, when we feel ourselves bored with our work, the results won't be as good as they may be when we totally focus on things that we do in our professional life.
I absolutely agree with you. And actually, some of the last publications or posts you have shared are very interesting because they teach mainly those who are starting how to find the right let's say the right projects for them. So it's not what I see very often is freelancers sending like 200 emails to whomever, and they do not even care about what they are going to do. So what you said about establishing healthy relationships and working, doing what they like to do, that's super important. And it's not just about sending 100 emails that are not personalized and things like that. That's not going to work, and probably they won't receive any answer. I have one last question for you, which I usually make people who I talk with, and I'm always curious to know the tools that you consider most important in your daily life as a professional translator or as a business manager in your case.
I can name two tools that I consider very important in our field. It may sound like a joke, but the first tool I recommend to use more often, I recommend all language professionals to use more often, is Microsoft Excel. This software can really save your time, can really allow, it allows you to automate a lot of things. Thus, you can save your time to spend on other things. And the second tool, it is one of my favorite tools. It is Notepad++. It is I think the simplest localization tool one can imagine, but it's really powerful for our purposes in terms of working on various translation and localization projects that are somehow connected with websites, applications, and so on, because this tool, this application allows to open almost every possible file to find what is required, and it is very colorful. It helps you to find necessary information in thousands of code lines, and I always advise language professionals to have both tools at hand and to use these tools, because in order to solve some tasks in a more effective and less time-consuming way.
Perfect. Yeah, fantastic. I also agree with you. I mean, automation is key with spreadsheets, with Excel, or whatever you want to use, but people should learn more about automation, about tools like Zapier that also help you automating things and not having to copy paste and or things like that. So that's super important for translators. And then that translation tool that helps you opening any type of file or anything like that. That's vital in our job to keep consistency and things like that. Pavel, it has been a pleasure talking to you. It has been a pleasure learning from you again. I strongly recommend people to follow you. you please remind us the name of the book you have published, which the people can find on Amazon, for example.
My book is available on LinkedIn and on Amazon. It is called Effective Email Marketing for Freelance Linguists. This book is something I am really proud of, because I managed to summarize and put together everything that I know about sending emails in the field of translations and language services. I also receive positive feedback from my readers. You can find some comments in the article about the book on LinkedIn, so you can see what people really think about recommendations and advice provided in this book. And yes, it's also available on Amazon, since I finally I was able to create the paperback version in February. So since the beginning of March, one can order the book both in electronic format or as a paperback.
Pavel is so nice that in one of his posts, he even offered himself to help people who want to publish a book, to know what the process he has gone through. So even if you have questions, even if you are thinking of publishing a book, ask Pavel. He will be able to give you good, wise advice to avoid making mistakes
Yes, I know that a lot of our colleagues, a lot of freelance translators write their books, but sometimes not all of them are ready to publish their books. I know that some people struggle with some publication issues, and I will tell that directly. I am not going to hide or to lie. It took time for me to publish my book on Amazon. So in case if someone needs some helps, I'm here. I'm really here to help you out with some of with their interface, and you're always welcome.
Perfect, Pavel. For those of you listening or watching this interview, we will have the URL to the book, so you can take a look at it. And again, Pavel, thank you very much for your time. We know you are a busy person. Thank you very much for your advice. Keep publishing good content on LinkedIn, because it's very helpful for professionals. And another thing that I wanted to share with our audience is that you will be creating soon some courses on TranslaStars. So we will have the opportunity to learn with you and to enjoy your contents. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for this invitation. It was a pleasure for me to speak to you today. And yes, I'm waiting for the day when we launch these courses on your platform. It's an important step for me in my development as a consultant. Yeah. So let's stay in touch and share more wonderful things with our followers.
Perfect. Have a great day. And thank you very much again for everything. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.